Hi, I'm here to tell you a little bit about the theorist Jerome Bruner by Elisa Figueroa. Jerome Seymour Bruner was born in New York on October 1st, 1915. He went to Duke University and received his Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology. He then returned to school at Harvard to obtain his master's and doctorate. Beginning in the 1940s, Jerome Bruner worked on the ways in which needs, motivations, and expectations influence perception. He explored perception from a functional orientation as against a process to separate from the world around it. This was achieved from expanding Piaget's views. He also used some of Vygotsky's theory. In addition to his work, Bruner began to look at the role of strategies in the process of human categorization, and more generally, the development of human cognition. This concern with cognitive psychology led to a particular interest in the cognitive development of children, and their modes of representation, and just what the appropriate forms of education might be. Bruner was invited to attend an influential meeting of scholars and educators. A result was Bruner's landmark book, The Process of Education. After his book, he joined many committees. In 1963, he received a Distinguished Scientific Award from the American Psychological Association, and in 1965 served as its president. Bruner is one of the most influential psychologists who has laid the foundation for groundbreaking researches in cognitive psychology. Through experiments on perception, he was able to identify that sensation and perception are active processes rather than passive ones. This basically means that learning is an active process in which learners construct new ideas based on their prior knowledge. In the constructivist theory, the learner selects and transforms information, constructs hypotheses, and makes decisions relying on a cognitive structure to do so. Theory of instruction should address four major aspects: predisposition towards learning, the ways in which a body of knowledge can be structured so that it can be most readily grasped by the learner, the most effective sequences in which to present material, and the nature and pacing of rewards and punishments. Good methods for structuring knowledge should result in simplifying, generating new propositions, and increasing the manipulation of information. Principles. Instruction must be concerned with the experiences and contexts that make the student willing and able to learn. That's the readiness. Instruction must be structured so that it can be easily grasped by the student. It's the spiral organization. And instruction should be designed to facilitate and fill in the gaps, going beyond the information given. Bruner developed three learning stages in his theory of constructivism: inactive, iconic, and symbolic. Inactive is doing, iconic is seeing images, and symbolic is using symbols. In an active mode. When dealing with the inactive mode, one is using some known aspects of reality without using their words or imagination. Therefore, it involves representing the past events through making motor responses. It involves mainly in knowing how to do something, like a series of actions that are right for achieving some kind of result, such as driving a car, skiing, or tying a knot. Iconic mode. This mode deals with the internal imagery, where the knowledge is characterized by a set of images that stand for the concept. The iconic representation depends on visual or other sensory association and is defined by perceptual organization and techniques for transforming those perceptions into meaning for that individual. Symbolic mode. This representation is based upon an abstract, discretionary, and flexible thought. It allows one to deal with what might be and what might not, and is a major tool in reflective thinking. This mode is illustrative of a person's competence to consider propositions rather than objects. Jerome Bruner's theory of constructivism is also called discovery learning. It is sometimes referred to as this because students interact with the world through experiments, exploring, or asking questions. The example below is about two students determining what is metal and what is not metal by using a magnet. This is an example of discovery learning because it's open-ended and offers high-level thinking skills. What should teachers do? The instructor should try and encourage students to discover principles by themselves. The instructor and students should engage in an active dialogue. The task of the instructor is to translate information to be learned into a format appropriate to the learner's current state of understanding. Curriculum should be organized in a spiral manner so that the student continually builds upon what they have already learned.
Free created using Powtoon.